Viewer discretion advised.
All right, everybody, welcome to yet another edition of Palace Off the Top Rope. Thank you guys for joining me. And for all you listeners out there, this is going to be a first. This is the first time ever that I'm having a guest on this show. And I won't say special guest because we'll calm down just a bit. I got my former coworker, movie aficionado buddy. Sometimes Facebook roaster. We roast each other every now and then. It's all in good fun. Got Mr. Jake Ramirez. Welcome to the show, sir.
Glad to be a part of it. Welcome, listeners.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So, we had been talking about this for a while, right? We wanted to. I know you'd been wanting to come on here, and we have a lot of the same interests in wanting to go see like these certain movies, and maybe we'll get to a point where we'll go check out whatever Joker. Come back, do a podcast, talk about it. But
if our schedules could,
everything matches up, and it looks like it's going to at some point. So we're gonna get the ball rolling here. This is kind of like a test run for you. We're gonna see how you do here. I'm just kidding. You're always welcome here. Anybody's welcome on this show because I like bouncing off ideas with people. That's what it's about. It's not really so much arguing. Because I value other people's opinions on different movies and TV, music, whatever. And even stuff that I'm not into, like. In today's episode, we're going to talk about horror movies. That's not my thing, but Jake here knows a lot about it. I'd love to learn some more. I'm myself and getting into the horror movies. I'm actually seeing 2 this year, and that's a stretch for me. I usually watch none, but welcome to the show, man. We're going to get into our top 5s later in the show. I wanted you to come up with a list of topics, whatever you wanted to do. I want this show to be also like. By the people, for the people, not to get like super cheesy, but I want you guys to also, get into this because it'd be like super, just by the numbers of like, hey, I gave you this list. This is what we're gonna talk about, right, Jake? But
it's not like that at all by any means.
Absolutely not. We're gonna bounce off each other. We'll get into some debates here. I'm sure it'll get heated at some point, but hey, it's all in good fun. It's better than any of other that bullshit out there. Politics. We don't bring any of that stuff here. Here it's straight up movies. We can argue about casting, character decisions,
and
anything.
We know the actors and actresses. We know the movies and directors. We know that, so we can bounce off.
All right, Jake. So usually how I like to start off these shows is it's either like, I don't want to say it's so much a rant as so much as just an opening, a prologue, you could say. We know that word a lot with The Dark Knight, all that stuff, back in the day. But before we get into any of that, I want to talk about the last time that we actually saw each other. So we went to go see, what was it, Mission Impossible Fallout last year in IMAX, right? We went to Palladium. It was the only way to see it. And what do you remember about that movie?
Man, what I remember just seeing. This being the what is it, 6 or 7?
The sixth
movie on the IMAX with Tom Cruise being so old as he is now, and then you got Henry Cavill in the mix and. Just the action scenes and it really is. A movie to where if you haven't seen it yet, you have to experience it on 4K if you can. It really blew my mind. Like the fight scenes, the cinematography. Some of the shots and just I hadn't seen a Mission Impossible movie like that compared to the other ones for sure. Yeah, no, definitely.
It's certainly a rewatchable for me. Heavily influenced, I think, by The Dark Knight, and we talked about this after the movie. They even went Henry Cavill. Spoilers alert! If you haven't seen it, we're going to be talking about that. But in that movie, Henry Cavill's half of his face gets burnt out. I was like, hey man, Two-Face, Dark Knight. There's a lot of influence here from that movie. But that was a fun experience, and obviously on the IMAX screen was just beyond anything that you've ever seen. If you get the 4K, guys. If you buy that and you put it in your player, the scenes actually extend where you don't see the black bars, because usually you get the black bars in the movies now. But for the IMAX, it'll extend and you'll see the full picture, and it's so much more sharper than a regular movie. So,
and that was one of the flicks where I knew I have to go see that one, Palace. I'm gonna go see Mission Impossible Fallout. Tom Cruise, one of my favorite actors of all time. And same with Robert right here. That's one of our favorite actors. I was like, I gotta go see with Palace. We're gonna go see that one, and we did, and we're laughing, and there was funny parts and some parts that are not even funny, but we're
it's just all part of the movie going experience.
Tom Cruise going crazy.
Yeah, and Where is the trailer for that going to land? I think that's going to be my favorite trailer of like the decade, man. Even to like this day, I'll blare it in the car and I'm hearing the Imagine Dragons. Like that trailer was so perfect for that movie. I'm like literally like top of the decade.
Definitely one of. I mean, I don't know if it's in my top 10 of the decade. We could disagree on that, but it's definitely one of the ones where you get hyped for Mission Impossible.
Like the moment you saw it, it was
I was like, I'm going to see that.
Like I mean, I was going to go see it anyway, or we're going to go see it because it's Tom Cruise. But man, like that's all you needed. Like they didn't need to put out like all these fucking movies put out like 3, 4, 5 trailers. Like no, you have that one trailer right there, and it fucking sold you with the action and everything. There's even some stuff that didn't come out in the movie, like in the final cut, but that didn't bother me.
I mean, just the restroom scene. You see it in the trailer, and I thought that was gonna like be that was it. Like we saw it in the trailer, that 2-minute little scene in 30 seconds in the trailer. I thought that was gonna be it during the movie, and then it goes on in the movie for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, this is pretty good.
Yeah, so I'm excited about Christopher McQuarrie coming back for part 7 and 8 or whatever. I think it's back to back. It's going to be
new trilogy.
Yeah, because it's what is it? Next year it's Top Gun next summer,
and then we got MI coming back for the year, and then
the year after that. So 2 summers, 3 summers with Tom Cruise straight. I'm not complaining as long as he can keep going and not kill himself.
As long as they bring Val Kilmer back for Top Gun Maverick in a small scene or something, they have to have.
He's in it.
Val Kilmer.
He's in it.
They announced it, but like they've been keeping it hush.
Yeah, and that's fine because I don't want to see anything of that movie. And I mean
he's had health concerns too.
Yeah. But that teaser trailer that they put out this summer was just
it's pretty good.
That's enough for me.
Yeah,
like,
I don't want.
That's almost.
I don't want to see Val. That's what people are like. Well, we got to see Val. I said no. Just
keep
wait.
it. Keep it secret. But yeah, that's the last time we saw each other, and looking forward to.
But we've been in touch, so
been in touch. Like, Facebook, people that follow Facebook, I roast this guy every single time.
Cowboys, Patriots. That's another.
We'll get that. Maybe we'll get into that later. Towards the end, we'll talk about that game, big Sunday night game coming up. Cowboys, Saints. We'll discuss that a little bit. But this is mainly to talk about movies and all this stuff that we're getting excited for. I dived into some of this stuff in a past episode, but now I can get into some stuff specifically now that we have more information. But a couple of topics that I really want to get into before we get into the meat of this episode. And Jake, did you hear? It's Spider-Man. He's back in the MCU, baby. He gets to interact with Nova now. Who gives a shit?
Oh,
really?
wow.
Right? Who cares?
Let me get into that real quick. Okay, I saw it. I see it on Facebook. Oh, yeah, Spider-Man's back in the MCU after they just had a fucking 3-week fight about it. And it's like, get over yourselves. Like, okay, whoop. We got him back for what? One more movie? Is it even worth it? Or is it going to be, an extended period of time? Is he going to be back in the MCU?
I think.
Who knows?
I think what the deal is that obviously they get one more official Spider-Man movie. I think he's going to pop up in whatever eventually, if they do another Avengers or whatever. But I think, and you agree with me on this, is that I think the MCU has just peaked already. Like,
I totally agree.
How much more of this could we really take? As a movie going audience,
And I get into arguments with other buddies of mine, like I was telling you earlier, when it comes to as far as Endgame and after how Endgame ended. Excuse me, but that was it. You had Robert Downey at the highest performance level as we could have him, and as the main hero. I mean, there's nothing after that. After they defeated Thanos, and that was it. I mean, where are we going from there? And all the superheroes are finally together in Infinity War and Endgame, and it's over, man. But they want to keep making these other ones. Black Panther 2 coming out. We got Captain Marvel 2. We got, all these other movies, but we've reached the peak. Robert Downey ain't coming back. As far as we know, he's not coming back.
And I mean, they're going to keep making money. We both, can't deny any of that. They're going to make money, when Thor Part 4 comes out, or 6, whatever
and
it is.
It's
going to make money. Guardians 3, yes.
Back
but, we were talking about this a little bit off the air. There's no superstar to anchor this thing anymore. You don't got Robert Downey. You don't got Chris Evans.
As we look at these posters in Palace's room, there is no
who's gonna carry this thing? But it's about the characters, Palace. No, you cared about Iron Man because you cared about Robert Downey Jr. playing him. You cared about Captain America because Chris Evans was playing him. It was the actors. Had they gotten somebody let's say
Keanu Reeves, everybody.
Yeah, let's say example, or God forbid, Leonardo DiCaprio's playing whatever, Nova, or the freaking Silver Surfer, whatever. Had you gotten somebody like that to anchor this for like the next 10 years, okay, you got me. Like, you got my money.
All we got left really is like him and him.
Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth. But those guys, those guys aren't movie stars. They're not. Look at everything that they've done outside of the MCU that doesn't make money. Chris Hemsworth coming off the biggest movie of all time, Endgame. What happened to MIB International? What, it was in the theaters 3 days and then it was gone? Like,
that came out this
year?
That
came out this year, Jake. It was in June. Nobody cared. This guy's not a movie star. I don't care what you tell me. He's a star in the MCU because you care about whatever's going on in that storyline. But going forward, just the MCU, like, Spider-Man, like, the MCU needs him. They need the character.
I mean,
they need the character.
If we're going to
more.
continue the Avengers and anything like that and have Tom Holland be the anchor and be like the new Robert Downey, I could see it. But in a few years, like, he has to age. He has to get a little older.
Right.
I could see him develop as an actor more. Like, okay. But, like, if you bring in, like, a Keanu Reeves or, like you said, a Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm sorry, little Tom Holland, like, you're going to get overshadowed.
Right,
I'm sorry.
But, like I said, to me, I think this is more the MCU needs Spider-Man more than Spider-Man needs the MCU because we saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That was fantastic. Like, Sony,
good movie.
This whole notion that Sony doesn't know how to do Spider-Man, they whiffed on some stuff. Like, but if you look back at the Tobey Maguire movies, like the first one's,
we love
the first one's good.
We love the first.
Spider-Man 2, I still think, to me, is the best Spider-Man movie. One of the best superhero movies ever.
I'd have to say
it's top 5.
It's
for
definitely
sure.
number 1 for
you,
me, and then
of all time,
and then Dark Knight would be number 2.
And you won't get any argument from me because to me that movie changed superhero like dynamic. The whole weight of it because that movie was more about, man, you can't have it both ways. You can't be the hero and get the girl or have the normal life. It's one or the other. You got to sacrifice one of those things. So to me, Spider-Man 2, I still hold to the highest degree.
Yeah,
and that was Sony.
It was just so good.
There was no Disney, no Kevin Feige,
no MCU.
So this whole notion that Sony doesn't know what they're doing and people were gonna fucking boycott, and not watch. Yeah, you're telling me I'm not gonna go watch a movie with Tom Holland possibly connected to Venom with Tom Hardy? You're lying to yourselves. Like, don't tell me that. You're gonna go watch it and it'll maybe make $900 million instead of $1 billion or $2 billion at the box office. Big deal. It's still gonna make money. So I hate this whole notion that Sony doesn't know what they're doing because
this whole thing was a big deal. With Spider-Man being taken back from Sony and then Sony giving it back to Disney. It was a big deal, but like, let's get over it now. Like, okay, he's back with MCU and Disney. Like, I don't care. Like, it's not me and you as not big MCU or like.
It doesn't like push the needle. It doesn't push the needle because we're still at the same thing. Like, okay, like. He gets to come out in the next
whatever it
is, and he gets
Captain
another
Marvel maybe, like,
and he gets another Spider-Man movie. But it's like okay, he gets to talk to Captain Marvel or Rocket Raccoon. Like that's all what this is about. That's all the fanboys care about.
That's what they care about.
That's all they care about.
Interactions amongst all the characters talking to each other. That's all you guys. I hate to say it, we're not trying to be like haters towards the fanboys, but like
no. And people try to tell me like you're a fanboy too, right? With wrestling, but again, I don't lose my shit when things don't go my way. Like, okay, had Spider-Man or whatever, let's say you like this upcoming Joker that's coming out. It doesn't have anything to do with Batman. Okay.
And one of my friends who's a DC guy, and we'll talk about that later when we get to Joker, lost his shit over it. Okay. He don't want to see it because it has nothing to do with Batman.
see, that's what I'm talking about. That's where I differentiate myself in, like, when I'm talking about, like, fanboys or crybaby fanboys. That's what I'm talking about.
It has to do with that, and it has to do with our love of film. And it has nothing to do with comic book characters. Like, it's our love of film and actors and actresses and directors, that kind of stuff. Like, I'm gonna go see Joker because Joaquin Phoenix alone performance.
Yeah, and if it's a good story or whatever, like, who cares if it doesn't involve Batman? Like, art, different forms of art, it's all open for interpretation. Like, I'm okay if take for example Avengers: Age of Ultron, like. In the comics, Ultron's created by Hank Pym, right, and Ant-Man or something like that. Yeah. Here they did it. They made it work for the movies and have it involve Robert Downey Jr. because he's the star of it. I'm okay with that, but fanboys are like, nah, and it's not exactly like the comic book. Well, then go read the comic books. I care about the movies. Like, that's what I wait for the movies. That's what I do.
And that's what I tell my buddy who's big on DC Comics and everything. It's not like The Last Joke or whatever the Joker one is, The Last Laugh or whatever that one story is, guys. I don't know. I'm not good on DC or comics.
Yeah, me either, but like,
it's not supposed to copy that. Like, this is Joker and Todd Phillips, the director of the Hangovers film. this is his film and his vision.
Yeah.
As a film.
Okay, so I think I'm good on that with Spider-Man and whatever.
We're kind of got into the joke a little bit, guys.
Yeah, well, we're gonna dive into that in deep length later on in the show.
At the bottom line, are we happy that Spidey to end this Spidey talk?
Okay, what's your answer? Okay, are you happy that he's back?
Am I happy that he's back with Disney in the Spideyverse? Who cares?
Me? Meh. I'm gonna go see it, but meh. I could have done either way. Could have been with Sony. I'm still gonna go see it.
It's not a yes or no. We don't care.
With the MCU,
it makes no difference.
With the MCU, I've already said I'm kind of done. Like
it's reached its peak.
I'm done going movie to movie. Like from now on, and I've told this to other friends. Like I'm gonna peek in.
Or can we select?
Yeah.
Which hero? We want to see?
I'll peek in. Yeah. I want to see Thor 4. It's bringing back everybody. I'll go check in on that. Blade, I'm possibly. Guardians, but do I care about the Eternals? Not really. I like some of the actors in it.
Yeah, exactly.
But
do I know who they are? No.
Is that enough?
And I know you fanboys, you all know who they are and each character in the Eternals. I'm sorry.
But here's one thing I want to say more about the fanboys. If I can sorry, I have to get this off my chest because it's been bothering me. Here's the difference between comic book fanboys and fanboys like myself of like wrestling. Okay, I'm gonna put the two together. Okay, so comic book fans, and I've dealt with this because I worked with a bunch of them at the movie theaters about diehard comic book fans, and they'll make you feel stupid if you don't know something. Like I remember seeing the first Avengers movie, and in that stinger, I didn't know that was Thanos. I was like, is that fucking Hellboy? Like I don't know. Like I don't know. And people
from X-Men,
they'll make you feel stupid for it, and you're not supposed to be doing that with people that are just general moviegoers, just regular moviegoers that want to get introduced to all this stuff.
Same with Star Wars. I'm getting into that later.
But the way I am with like wrestling, I'm like super diehard about that stuff. If you coming in as somebody that doesn't know, that makes me happy.
Yeah, you're not mad.
I'm not like, oh, you don't know how you don't know who whatever The Rock is.
Who's Kofi Kingston fighting this?
You don't know who this guy is.
Like,
oh no, I want you. Like I welcome that, and I welcome like teaching people and just getting excited. But as far as like and I'm not saying all comic book fans are like this.
Boys are like that.
But there's some that I've dealt with where like they make you feel stupid if you don't know what's going on, especially like if it's in a movie. I don't know every little thing in an MCU movie, but
that's all you need to know. When he has hanged up his posters right here, that's all you need to know.
But for a majority of it, I can follow the narrative. But if there's like little things like, oh, you didn't know this guy's from this like story, it's like no.
Films right there.
Oh, Captain Zemo, he's not like in the comic book. Okay, that doesn't mean anything to me. The character presented in the movie's fine. But again, to wrap up this Spider-Man section,
And fanboy.
All right, next topic, Jake. And again, we're just in the opening, man. We got a lot to go. We got a lot to go on this show. Jurassic World 3. Just when I thought I was out on this entire series, they pulled me back in. Who's back? Laura Dern, Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum. Oh my God, I'm in.
Chris Pratt.
Bryce
Dallas Howard.
I'm in.
The new cast.
They did it. I freaking loathe.
I'm very biased as far as Jurassic World and the new one and Fallen Kingdom and everything because I'm not going to get into super bits of it, but there is a movie that came out the same year as Jurassic World came out called Mad Max Fury Road, and I put that as my number one film of that year. And a lot of my friends argue that Jurassic World was better than that film.
Better than Mad Max.
Yes, because they're lunatics.
They're out of their gore. They're out of their gore, Jake.
I know, and I argue with them so much, but that's for another discussion. But anyway, am I happy that they got Sam Neill back, Laura Dern? They got after her performance in Big Little Lies on HBO. Like,
Laura Dern's
she's launching it.
I mean, she's always been good, but man, she's on another
Twin Peaks.
She's on another. Twin Peaks. Don't even that show, man. Don't even.
Crazy, but yeah, I mean that kind of talent. You see the talent, like how she has.
But that's
Jeff Goldblum.
Not that they're big movie stars, but they're movie stars like of their day. They were in stuff. So hearing them coming back for this, I'm like, I saw it and this news leaked at like 1 or 2 in the morning because I remember I was like, I'm a late bird, and I was
telling Robert, like I already knew like that they were going to be part of it, and I've known, but it was rumor back then. But I was like, it's not rumor. It's like they're gonna bring them back. Like they have to, and I knew they were.
I mean, I didn't see Fallen Kingdom. I saw parts of it working at the theater.
They never,
and I was just like,
the other two really. But Jeff Goldblum was in it, but
briefly, right? Like just for a second
scene in the trailer.
Okay, so if you saw the trailer, that was it,
that
right?
was it, pretty much.
So I didn't see Fallen Kingdom because I was just out on it. And I thought Jurassic World was. I thought it was awful, but that's just my opinion. And so I was like, whatever. I'm out on this. I love Chris Pratt. He's a fine actor.
My thing is though, Robert, is like, where do they go from here, bro? Like, I mean,
well, isn't the whole thing dinosaurs are on like loose in the city now?
Well, now they're loose in the U.S. and now, but like,
that's an interesting
Are
concept,
they trying
though.
to set up like a new trilogy? Like,
no, this would be the end of it. No,
I know.
This would be the end of it.
Bringing back the old cast, so like
that's fine. I just need Dr. Grant in the hat, and
that's what I want.
Ian Freeze. That's all I need, man. It's Jeff Goldblum, the banter. That's all I need. If the movie's good or not, whatever. The effects aren't even as good.
But that's where I'm getting like hesitant because I'm thinking that they're gonna try and set up a new trilogy and it's gonna fail. Like,
I think this is gonna end it. I don't think because you can't go any more than dinosaurs invading the U.S. I thought because I think
you can go how you stop them and you can expand that 3 more movies and that's like you can
now. I mean, if we're thinking logically the way Hollywood does now, like they could easily expand this into like.
Am I hoping this is the last one? Yes. Like, I really want it to be the last one, and I want it to go fucking 2.5 hours.
But if you're bringing in the big guns...
That's what I'm saying.
I would hope it's a finale, but we'll see. Nothing ends now, obviously.
But if they set it up for a potential new trilogy, and it's set up right, you have my money. But it has to be set up right. That cliffhanger at the end... It
has to be set up right, but also if they're just bringing back the old cast to have them, like, whatever... killed off. If they kill him off or whatever.
It needs to end. If that's what it just needs to end.
But if they're setting up a new trilogy to possibly have him come back throughout it.
That's what I mean. Like,
I don't know. Maybe I could possibly be in. But if they bring him in and they're continuing it, but they kill him off, nah. That's it. Just this movie and then I'm good. But either way, I'm pumped.
I'm excited too.
Sam Neill, Dr. Grant. That's my favorite character. I'm sold. I saw it 2 a.m. scrolling on Twitter on my couch. I was like, "What? They're back? Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome up."
Oh man!
But still, to end Jurassic Park talking world. Mad Max Fury Road's still better than Jurassic World.
Absolutely. Any movie from that year?
Sorry.
Any movie from that year, aside from maybe Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation, which was like right up there.
That's my favorite film of 2015. Is
but
Mad Max.
Those two movies alone, not even close to. Don't even mention it with Jurassic World. Those movies are on their own level.
But that's what my friends, some of these other regular blockbuster guys that are not into film like we are.
Disgusting.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
But I don't get it. Like, I don't know what it is about Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom made a lot of money.
I'll just say.
I don't get it. Is it dinosaurs? Like, is that all it is?
2 words. Chris Pratt.
But you're not going to Jurassic World to see Chris Pratt. You're going to see the dinosaur.
They are the regular blockbuster people.
I don't know. I think we disagree on that because, like I said,
dinosaurs, yes, but Chris Pratt at the height of Guardians and setting.
But then why hasn't anything that he's done outside of like franchise IP? Why hasn't it worked? Passengers.
I saw like 10 minutes of that one and
with Jennifer Lawrence, 2 of the biggest stars at that time. Like
I don't know.
They're supposedly biggest stars, and that movie tanked.
I couldn't finish it. Like I started watching 15 minutes of it and I got occupied.
But that's what I'm saying. Like how could it be that you go and see Jurassic World because of that guy? I mean, it could be for like someone like you who knows who he is and what he's done.
My friends and stuff that enjoy like his performances, like.
But they've told you that?
Pretty much, or like it has to do with him and it just being Jurassic Park, just being in that Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Like Chris Pratt.
Okay, so the aura around it, not really him. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's his aura, what he brought to it. And he was badass. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Well, we'll transition out of that topic. And the last one here before we take a quick break here. The Batman. Some casting news that's been making the rounds. We got Jonah Hill supposedly. We got Jeffrey Wright supposedly. I told you about something I heard maybe earlier. Vanessa Kirby maybe.
Oh, I didn't hear about that one. I'm excited.
I don't know what. I mean, I don't care what the story is. I'll wait for it to premiere on the screen. I'm not going to get all psychotic like the way I did over Dark Knight and finding out every little single detail.
Let me just say this. Once I found out that Robert Pattinson got cast as Batman, I was psyched. When I heard that, when I was at work in the summer and I saw Robert Pattinson cast him, I lost my mind. Because if you see his performance in the movie Good Time by the...
everybody keeps telling me about the movie. I'm going to check it out.
The Dufty brothers, or by the brothers that are directing the movie with Adam Sandler coming out.
Uncut Gems, yeah.
They directed Good Time. And Good Time was my favorite film of, I want to say 2017, I believe it was.
I got it. I'm going to have to check it out because I want to see that Uncut Gem that's coming out with Adam Sandler.
The Safdie brothers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Good Time. I heard he's
So
done
good.
like so much stuff
Other
since,
stuff
since
besides
Twilight,
that,
but
yeah.
you know the most of the movie going audience is gonna look at that. They're gonna look at that. Same thing with like Ben Affleck. They looked at just that's the guy who dated J-Lo. That's the guy
Made
who
Armageddon
who was Daredevil, whatever.
Daredevil.
And but they didn't look at any of this like quiet stuff he was doing.
And independent films where
Gone, Gone Baby Gone. He directed, and then he did Argo, and
they show their true talent.
Yeah.
Even go back to Good Will Hunting. Like,
yeah, I mean, like you just don't pay attention to the stuff that like made him into superstars. Obviously, Armageddon blew up Ben Affleck, and Twilight blew up Robert Pattinson. But go check out some of his other work.
But Good Time,
Yeah,
like,
Good Time
blew him up as an actor. Like, I had never seen a performance, at least from him. I would say from him. Like I've seen, like like emotionally, like everything that he brought to the table is why he is getting cast as the Batman. And you guys will understand that once you see the film Good Time.
I'm excited for that, but also excited because it's Matt Reeves. He's done the Apes movies.
The Apes movies.
I think I forgot if he directed or was involved with Cloverfield, which was I think it was revolutionary for its time.
Oh, it was. I remember being at the theater,
and it was. He's done like some really good stuff. So I'm totally trusting him and what he wants to bring to the story.
Cast is amazing so far, and getting Jonah Hill, who's an Oscar-nominated actor. I mean, and
he could play the Riddler or the Penguin,
I
whatever.
like him as both. I told my friends I could see him as the Riddler or the Penguin, not just because he's a little heavy set, but
he
if
can lose
lost
the weight too. Yeah.
I could see him as a Riddler.
But he's got the range, you know. Wolf of Wall Street, he plays his like out of his mind, like hateable guy. But then you see something like Moneyball, and it's quiet, and he's more reserved.
And I hate to admit this, especially on your podcast, but I have yet to see Moneyball.
Moneyball, okay. I check out Good Time, you check out Moneyball. I'm telling you, those are
fair.
That's a good trade off. But everybody tells me about Good Time, so
I know it's independent. Good
no,
Time.
and I'm not against independent movies, but it's not something that I'm going to go out and seek. But if you know, I've heard you've recommended that movie to me so many times. I've got another buddy that tells me that it's on Amazon, that I've had to see it, and I gotta, since I'm also working on my top 25 of the decade.
It's so like unique as a film.
Like, yeah.
I don't know how to put it in words.
I believe you, but everybody, you know, I'm doing this top 25 list, best movies of the decade, and my buddy said, "Hey, have you seen Good Time yet?" I'm like, "No, I got it, but I'll see it. But just tell me where it's at. I'll go check it out." So,
top 25, it could make it. If you watch it, and then if you end up saying, "Dang, this could make my top," man,
I'll definitely check that out. It's on Amazon Prime. Some stuff coming up there in November that I want to check out, so I'll definitely put that on the list. But yeah, you put Moneyball on your list. I promise you, that's some of Brad Pitt's finest performances, and Jonah Hill, of course. But overall, the movie's just fantastic. And but yeah, I'm excited about that. And again, fanboys can cry over casting, and you know, people are already complaining that possibly Jeffrey Wright's going to be Commissioner Gordon. Get wild with it, guys. Like,
we can get over the fact that he's African American or that he happens to be
that's fine, and that has nothing to do with it. I care about a good story, a good performance.
Yes.
I mean, could I be wrong? He could whiff and be bad in the movie, and
let's give him a chance.
We'll properly criticize him for it.
I mean, on Westworld, he's 100. His performance is 100.
Yeah, he's a good actor, but you know, I mean, give him a chance.
Yeah.
Give Robert Pattinson a chance. Like, you don't know,
I know,
guys.
I mean, as soon as he got cast, Robert Pattinson, everybody crazy.
You are not your one role, especially if you're a good actor, like that Pattinson has proved to be.
Yes.
So, yeah, like, hold your horses, fanboys. Like, it's gonna be okay. And I think one of my buddies put like, "Oh man, like I hate this, and all I want is a good story." And I told him like, "Well, the movie's not even out yet. How do you know it's not going to be a good story? It could be. Like, just wait."
Just pinning everything.
You're judging already. You're judging that. You're judging Gordon. We don't even know for sure if that's who he's playing.
What's weird is that my friend, who's a fan of DC big time, of all the DC heroes and everything, is like he has criticism over the Joker, like, and this being so different, and Joaquin Phoenix and everything, but when he saw Robert Pattinson got cast as the Batman, me telling him how good of an actor he is and like persuading him, he's actually not that. He's interested in the Batman, which is crazy because you go from Joaquin Phoenix, one of the greatest actors of all time, but then you get the DC comic story being a little off and not like following the comic books, and you get somebody like my buddy not into it at all, but then into the Batman, who has an actor which he doesn't care two bits about in Robert Pattinson, but then he's like, I'm gonna give him a chance. So it's weird, the contradiction between certain fanboys.
Yeah. No. Again, keep an open mind. That's what I'm doing. Anything now going forward in the superhero genre. That's basically all we get now. Get wild with it. Go crazy on interpretations. Like, it can't just be the same trope. Not everything can be Avengers, and not everything can be any of that. It's got to be different. We're gonna get into top fives coming up right here after the break. Let's pause it here, Jake. We can take a breather, and we'll be back, and we'll get into top fives of what we're looking forward to for the rest of the year, the fall, Christmas, all that fun stuff. This is Palace Off the Top Rope. I'm here with Jake. We'll be back.
Tom Holland here, aka Spider-Man. You now have access to a ton of special features.
We did this 100-foot swing, which was awesome.
It was fun, actually. Let's keep it moving, guys. I got a lot to do today.
No one commits to the physicality like he does. He is incredible. He's laughing. No, we got it. I got this.
All right, welcome back to the show. So, Jake, you asked me to compile a list of my top five for the fall here as we chill over here over some brewskis and we talk about movies. We got the rest of fall coming up. We got a top five. Let's cheers to that. And let's get into our list here. You asked me to create a top five. You got a top five. Why don't you start us off? Number five.
Yeah, I'll start us off. Let's see. Jake's top five holiday fall films of 2019. We'll start from backwards here. We're gonna go number five. I have Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep,
which is not only just the sequel to a film of my favorite of all time. 40 years in the making plus of The Shining, but of course the novel by Stephen King, Dr. Sleep. This is Ewan McGregor in it, and Ewan McGregor. I think Rebecca Ferguson pops in.
She's in it too. Okay.
Pops in.
Oh, that's. I was gonna go see this.
I know one of his favorites now. Let me make sure.
I'm not a horror guy, and not so much that I don't like scary movies. It's the whole theatrical experience. I get very, very angsty with the jump scares and all that stuff. But this one looks more like a psychological thriller. I went to go see It Chapter 2. Those movies I got invested in. Dr. Sleep, Ewan McGregor, Rebecca Ferguson. To me, The Shining is the scariest movie of all time. My personal opinion. That movie I can't watch by myself.
I would say The Exorcist. As far as I know, everybody says it's cliche and shit, but that really is my fucking.
Yeah, but definitely gonna, just like you, I'm gonna go check that one out. Didn't make my top five, but that's gonna be a good one. And hopefully, do you think it's gonna be a box office hit though? Or has too much time passed with The Shining?
Well, guess what? The Shining's going to have their 4K release coming out soon in October.
Is that going to be in theaters?
Yes, actually.
Oh, okay.
It's a 4K. Alamo Drafthouse is going to be doing it. I don't know what other theaters are going to get it, but probably Phantom. They're doing it at Regal, probably. But I saw it last year in theaters. I was lucky enough to see it at the Drafthouse. So they always do this. The Shining is a horror movie where they always film and they always shoot or always show at these theaters.
The reason why I ask is because isn't this also coming off a little bit off the heels of It Chapter 2? Is it too close, or would this have been better served, I don't know, in February, or is November a good time for this movie?
Well, what's crazy is that the official world release of Dr. Sleep is on October 30th.
Oh, so it's right on Halloween. So it really is a Halloween movie. But here it is.
But the U.S., of course, we have to get it late. We get it on November 8th, which is going to kill the U.S., but overseas and worldwide, this movie's going to bank, especially in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
They'll go crazy with Ewan McGregor being the star.
I think this is going to be more of a critical hit than box office hit, in my opinion.
I think it's going to do both. I think it's going to, let me say this now, I think it'll surprise us.
But is this like an above 50 million opening weekend, or is this like 25
what did
Chapter
2 make?
Chapter 2 did about 90 million, somewhere around that range.
It did lower than last.
For sure. Way lower. Like I freaking predicted. Everybody came after me, but
I thought I'd be the first one to admit I thought it was gonna make more because of the actors in it. It was better acting, but I
don't know.
I don't see this making more money than It Chapter 2.
I don't say more. Is it gonna even just open big? That's my question. Or is it just a movie that does about 20 to 25 million and has a decent like legs at the box office if it's good.
Yeah, I think it'll make its budget back over time, even
right.
with DVD sales.
So it's not going to be like a huge.
No,
like,
it won't be a disaster. By any
it's not going to be a
means.
disaster. Okay, all right.
But, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm still on the fence about it. We'll get to a prediction as soon as we get closer to the release date. But from my point of view, I think it's going to be more of a critical hit. Where this will be the one where we talk about like what was the best horror movie of the year. They're going to talk about this one more than like It Chapter 2, which I thought it was fine, but
no, yeah. Do I think this is going to be the scariest film of 2019? When I think about it, yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. Well, that's your number 5. My number 5, and that's if we're comparing lists here, it's your number 4 is Knives Out from director Ryan Johnson, which stars a buttload of people. I can just name them right off the top of my head: Chris Evans, Tony Collette, Daniel Craig, Lakeith Stanfield. I think that's his name. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Who else you got? Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis,
Queen of Halloween, one of my favorites.
The kid from It is in it, right?
It's in it.
What's his name?
Jacob Trimble. No, it's not Jacob Trimble. But he's in everything. Oh, he's in Doctor Sleep too.
Is he?
Yes.
No way. Okay, I want to see this movie even more now.
But yeah, Knives Out, all-star cast. Tony Collette, of course, man. Like, oh my god, like.
Did you watch Unbelievable?
No, but I heard your podcast about it on Netflix.
Check that out.
I'm
not one to like recommend to people like, hey, you need to watch this.
But for like a film geek like me and you, yeah,
this could have been a movie. I wish it was a movie. It could have worked as a 2.5 hour like straight up like murder mystery whatever type movie. But no, you got to see that Toni Collette's on fire. I'm expecting her to be bonkers in this movie. Ryan Johnson hasn't disappointed. I love Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
I'm gonna get into that real quick and not like super big because that's not what we're talking about. But I have friends who hate The Last Jedi, and a Star Wars fan of myself, a big one. I absolutely love The Last Jedi, and I don't care what anybody says. I loved it, and the fact that he's directing Knives Out, that turns people off so much because they hated The Last Jedi.
Did they not watch Looper? Did they not watch Brick? Did they not watch what else?
Those good ones? No, they haven't because they're not film
right.
like us.
But man, like he has the resume. He's got the resume, and the cast. How can you deny that? This is a good movie to go check out once you have your little turkey dinner, your mashed potatoes. Like I want to go out to the movies.
Once the family dinner is done, that's
boom.
my movie.
Go Who Done It. When I go watch this movie, I'm gonna be like. I know people are going to try to figure it out because it's one of those. Let it play, let it unfold, and then whatever. Because like, there's been early reviews already because it's screened at certain film festivals. Everyone says it's fantastic, but yeah, I'm not going to go into it and put myself in so much anxiety trying to figure out what's going on here. I bet you it's this person that did it.
I'm not going into it like that at all.
Just go in to enjoy the performances. It looks. Michael Shannon's in it, right?
Michael Shannon.
Holy crap! I keep naming people just coming up, spinning the wheel.
And then the girl from Blade Runner 2049.
Oh my gosh!
Alma de Armas. She's the next James Bond girl with Daniel Craig.
This is going to be a good double feature for Thanksgiving with another movie, which is going to pop up later on my list, which we'll talk about in just a bit. But all right, at number 5, I have Knives Out. You have Dr. Sleep at number 5, and it's your number 4. So we can obviously skip that one, and we can go right into. Well, let me go into my number 4 since.
All right.
My number 4. It's a movie that's possibly going to play in theaters nationwide for a little bit, but it's going to be exclusively on Netflix. It's called Marriage Story. With Adam Driver.
Okay, I know.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yep.
It's a movie about.
Wow, this made your top 5. Holy moly.
Well, only because of, and I'm going to get a little personal here. Okay. It's a movie that's going to deal a lot with divorce and kids. It's something that I can personally relate to, having been through one myself. So I'm very nervous, but also very excited to see. They're talking about Adam Driver possibly getting nominated for Best Actor.
I can see that.
I can see they're talking about Scarlett Johansson maybe possibly Best Actress or Best Supporting. I think Laura Dern's in this movie too.
Wow.
I'm very excited. I'm told it's very very, heart pounding, like just gut wrenching. And like I said, I don't know if it's going to be in theaters. I don't know if it's only going to be like New York, LA.
It's usually select theaters in New York.
It's weird with this one, and then we'll talk about.
And Austin gets them too. It's weird.
Yeah, if Austin gets it, I will I will drive out for that. Same thing with The
down to
Irishman, which we'll talk about in a bit. But this one, I'm not sure on the release date, but for sure it's going to be on Netflix. I think towards the latter part of
Austin
November.
is like our LA in New York. I've driven. I remember real quick here. I know we're getting off the subject, but I drove to Austin to go see the movie with James Franco and Dave Franco. What's it called? The one that came out like 2
Oh, The Disaster Artist?
The Disaster Artist.
Wait, we had it here. We had it here in San Antonio.
We got it a week later. I went to.
Oh,
I didn't
you
know
went
it.
a week?
I went a week before.
Oh,
in
okay. Well,
Austin.
that's fine. I mean, it was worth it then. I thought.
Oh, and I met one of the main. I met one of the guys from The Room. Not Tommy, the other guy.
Oh, okay.
In person.
He was there?
I'll show
Nice.
you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah. Again, really looking forward to this one. It's going to be a smaller movie, obviously, with dealing with the topics of divorce and with kids and all that stuff. It's going to be super emotional. Well, you know about it now, Jake. So maybe you'll probably go check it out.
I definitely do want to check it out.
If you don't see it in theaters, I mean, this one I'll go. I love to see my movies on the big screen, but I mean, if we don't get it, whatever, I'm gonna have to just settle for Netflix. But that's my number 4, and we can go into number 3. What's your number 3?
My number 3, of course, it has to be Terminator: Dark Fate, produced by James Cameron, directed by the one and only Tim Miller, who directed Deadpool, one of my favorite films of these last few years.
Okay,
I mean,
I wanna get your thoughts real quick. How do you feel about Genesis? It came out a few years ago.
Genesis, I mean, I didn't hate it and I didn't love it. It was just there. Like,
Okay.
I just enjoyed it for what it was. And, the chick from Game of Thrones was in it as Sarah Connor.
Okay, but
Billy Clark.
But did that give you confidence as a Terminator fan?
No. Like, after it was done,
Because guess who endorsed that movie when it was coming out? Who said it was like freaking this was going to turn the
Let me
tide
guess,
for Terminator?
James Cameron.
Yes.
But
So that doesn't that give you like cause to pause for this one?
not at all, because let me tell you why. Because the director, Tim Miller, who directed Deadpool, I had never in my life, and I remember on Facebook talking about it so much, you were like hating on me, I think. I had never seen that point of view, the fourth point of view, the fourth wall kind of movie. And the action that I got from that movie, I'd never seen that. Like,
You're talking about the meta, like
of Deadpool,
okay,
of the first Deadpool, he
Right.
directed. And I had never
okay.
seen that.
I I guess I can kind of give the benefit of the doubt to that director. I mean, the first trailer was garbage.
The
It was
CG
really
everywhere.
bad.
The
No,
CG
no,
was
I'm
bad.
just talking about the music. What the
Okay.
hell were they trying to do with that? The second trailer though, that came out like not so long ago. Okay,
With
I'm
that.
like this.
And
This
that-
looks more Terminator.
I left out the main reason why I'm excited for it, because they brought back, after 30 plus years, my favorite Terminator character, which is Linda Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
As Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
I love her. I've loved her and have had a little like teen crush on her since I was in my teens, seeing her in the first Terminator.
Yeah.
I've had a thing for Linda Hamilton, and she's coming back, not only just as a little supporting role, but like as a main character to kick ass and help. So just like she should be.
I'm hoping that she carries most of them. I mean, she's going to have to carry it.
She's
'cause
going to carry
everybody
most
else
of
in it. I mean, I
And
enjoy
Arnold, we know Arnold's coming back, which is even more hyped.
I'm
know,
over it.
I
I'm
know,
over
I
it.
know, but it's Arnold.
But it's
and we're
not like when Stallone comes back as Rocky or Rambo. Like, I don't know, for some reason Schwarzenegger coming back as the Terminator doesn't do it for me anymore.
But the thing is when she said, like, when she tells him in the trailer, "I'm gonna kill you after all this is over," I'm like, why though? Like, are y'all bad guys now all of a sudden? Like,
no,
you don't
because
like each other?
don't
Like, why?
don't they always get destroyed after the mission's over? It's like the same thing in Terminator 2. Like,
I guess so.
Bye bye. Like,
yeah. So that's like, oh, I'm so interested. Like, I just
no, I mean, there's a lot of interesting components to it. It's just
my main focus though, like you say, why? Linda Hamilton. I
okay.
just
That's
love her.
that's the
I
major
love her
sell.
as
That's all you
actress.
need. Okay,
That's all.
and
I
it's
need.
also like it's smart coming off the heels of Jamie Lee Curtis coming back for Halloween last year.
And that's what they're
and made a
trying
lot
to-
of money.
yep.
I think this comes out again. I think it's the first week of November. It's either the first week or the second week, and I think it's going up against Charlie's Angels, the reboot. Which
that's gonna be
I'm
nice.
looking. I want to see it because Kristen Stewart looks
hot, but
hot and
I like
awesome,
her a
and looks
lot.
like she's having fun in it. But
she's coming out in that new horror movie too that comes out next year with the Underwater. It's called.
oh,
I
okay.
think.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw the poster where it looks like freaking Gravity. All these same posters with the headshot and
It looks pretty cool.
no, but Terminator: Dark Fate. Like I'm gonna see it
November 1st.
November. Okay, first.
I thought it was actually later in the movie.
okay. So it's coming like the I don't even know what's coming out at the tail end of October.
I mean, the cast is great. I mean, like I said, Linda Hamilton Arnold, of course, Mackenzie Davis.
I love her. No, she's great.
Hot and Catch Fire. If you've never watched,
Never
that
seen
show,
that, but
so good.
I first saw her in that movie, That Awkward Moment, with Zac Efron,
Yeah,
Michael B.
she
Jordan.
was
Cute
in
little
that.
romantic
She
comedy.
was in that one,
I
yeah.
liked her a lot in that, and that's where I discovered her. And she's a good actress. Never got into *Halt and Catch Fire*. No,
And then
it
you
was
got
only-
Edward Furlong coming back as John Connor,
Yeah,
a special appearance. And we don't know
What is
how
it? A
long.
face planted on a CGI like Paul Walker?
We don't know how much screen time he's going to get.
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
mean, regardless,
I have my reservations about that. But Linda Hamilton's enough to get me to go spend
Is that
$10.
enough for you too?
It's enough to spend $10, but I'm reserved on it actually being good. So we'll see. Hopefully they prove me wrong. Again,
I hope
I
it
want
gets-
these movies to be good. It's not that we don't wish movies
I
to
just
be bad.
because Linda, she disappeared for a while from Hollywood. And she
no.
talks about it. If you follow her, if you listen to her, like because of the reasons why and stuff like that, you can find out about her personal life. I'm not there to tell you that, but like her being back in Hollywood and coming back to reprise a character that she is phenomenal in, it sold me.
Okay, all right. So that was your number 3, Terminator: Dark Fate. Here's my number 3, and this just got announced yesterday that it's coming out in December. Jake, what is it? September. We're at the tail end of September.
October.
And this just got
We're in
announced
October.
that it's coming out in December.
What's this?
Clint Eastwood's new movie called Richard Jewell.
I thought he died.
It's got John Hamm. I forgot who else is in it, but this is the story of the guy from the 1996 Olympics who I think helped save some people during that bombing that happened.
I have yet to hear about this film.
That's the way it is with Clint Eastwood movies. Remember The Mule?
The Mule.
Last year, we found out in October it was coming out just 2 months
And
later.
I loved it. So
And
that was a good one.
Clint Eastwood. I'm a fan. But yeah,
Bradley
they-
Cooper was in it for like 5 minutes.
but this deals with the bombing in the Atlanta Olympics, and it's about this guy. He apparently saved people during this whole thing, but people mistook him as a terrorist, and I think he got charged for it.
Fuck.
And he went through this whole system. So it's like a true story, and it's about rushing a judgment on somebody that you don't know
Is
the
this gonna
whole
get a
story.
full theatrical release?
It's coming out in December. It says December 19th. I'm assuming it's going to be right before Christmas. Right at Christmas, you having worked at a theater, they release 5-6 movies at once so that everyone can storm the theaters on Christmas Day to go see it.
Yeah, that happens.
So this has just made my top list just because I love true stories like that.
So the top cast is who again?
I just know John Hamm's in it. And the guy...
Clint Eastwood? Or no?
No, he's just directing, I
Oh,
think.
man.
But I got to relook because, again, this news just
It
dropped
just popped,
yesterday.
yeah.
I was like, what? I knew he was making a movie, but of course I should have expected this.
Well, there was that big hoax that he was dead. I don't know if you saw that.
No,
a
I
week ago.
didn't.
Yeah, and
Holy
I'm at the school working, and I got one of these older teachers. He's in his 60s,
Uh-huh.
70s. And he goes, "Did you hear the news, Jacob?" And I go, "Nah, what happened, Mr. Skinner?" And he's like, "Clint Eastwood, one of my favorites, just died." And I go, I haven't heard about this. I'm a big film guy. No. And I check Google right away, and I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe he's seen some, because he's old, he's seen some fake hoax shit, and of course it turned out to be fake hoax.
This happened a year or two ago with Stallone, and I was like, heart dropped, and I was like, this is not happening. I will collapse. I will collapse the day that guy passes.
Mine would be Bruce Willis or Harrison Ford.
Okay.
Then I'll
You
collapse.
just lose it.
One
You know?
of those.
We all have attachments to certain stars. And,
Yep.
but no, I never heard about the Clint Eastwood thing. That might have been a day when I was working or whatever.
Yeah, this was a week ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it might have been just full on working and just driving and all that stuff. So yeah, that's my number 3. It's called Richard Jewell. Look for it in December. There'll probably be a trailer out next week since we just got the announcement yesterday. And let's get into we're at number 2. What's your number 2, Jake?
Jake's number 2. We got, of course, the Joker.
Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, Todd Phillips. Let's go. What do you got?
I mean, you got Joaquin Phoenix. You got Todd Phillips, like I was telling Robert earlier, the director of The Hangover. I mean, and there's
But that's the thing, right, Jake? Because everybody's
knows him for The Hangover.
Todd Phillips, Hangover, Old School, Road Trip. But this guy started to transition a little bit.
Well, it
Did you see-
transitioned into
Did you
The
see War
Hangover.
Dogs? You see War Dogs?
Yes. He
with
directed
Miles,
that? I didn't know
with
that.
Miles Teller,
And
Jonah
Jonah
Hill.
Hill. That
The
was
movie was
phenomenal.
darker. It
That
was
was a good
darker,
one.
not comedic the way the trailers made it out to be.
I don't know so whatsoever.
he
But you
was-
have Joaquin Phoenix's
Right.
performance as Joker.
But when you heard the announcement, like Todd Phillips is doing a Joker movie,
I
at first I had my what? Like,
I was okay with it only because I know Warner Brothers is okay with him because
he's
so they're like, we're gonna give him millions,
right?
I knew he was gonna produce something right or direct.
But also he was a producer on A Star Is Born from Bradley Cooper,
didn't know that.
So he's starting to transition, taking himself a little bit more serious. And the way this is coming out of the festivals and stuff, it's that this is
you
like
had an 8-minute, I think it was, standing ovation at Cannes or whatever it was. I mean, it was at the Venice Film Festival.
It was either or. I think it might have been
both.
Yeah, it might have been both. But here's the thing: like, this could possibly be one of those movies that gets nominated for Best Picture if it ends up being that good. And
well, here's my early prediction: is that Joaquin Phoenix will win and get nominated for Best Actor, and he's going to win his Oscar finally.
That's a whole other conversation. Like
it is, because there's so many good people. Leo,
this year is going to be unbelievably hard. Just look at the Best Supporting Actor. I'm gonna throw out some names real quick: Brad Pitt, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, possibly. You're talking about all these different like big star actors, like all these like favorites that we've loved throughout the years.
Adam Driver maybe for Best Actor for Marriage Story. Is that what it's called?
Marriage Story. Scarlett Johansson.
So that's Best Actor. Like you got Adam Driver,
Tom Hanks. We're forgetting Tom Hanks for Best Supporting Actor.
It's
gonna be Best Supporting because that movie's not gonna be about Mr. Rogers. It's gonna be about that other guy, and Mr. Rogers plays into it.
But I think he can still get Best Actor.
We'll see. We'll see how they play it, but
my hands down is like that's what I'm looking at. But see, my only worries about Joker, like how hyped up it is and all these ovations and at these film festivals and what it's doing right now. I'm scared to go into this and it lets me down.
You overhype it too much. That's why it's okay to get excited about like reactions to it, but also don't put all your chips on it.
To go back to my number 3, Terminator, like Dark Fate. That's not my I have the most up, it's gonna be good. I'm not going into expecting too much or expecting. I'm it's gonna be good. But Joker, I'm it could be bad. And
just what is it called? Just not lower your expectations, but manage it. Just keep it at a middle ground.
Yeah, just go. I'm just gonna go into it because even the reason why I'm going into it and expecting it possibly to be bad is because I hear all this too much positiveness from it and it's a little too much.
But that you can understand from and this is where we can talk about Collider a little bit and all these freaking press guys that just annoy the shit out of me.
Tomatoes, I hate.
They'll go see something like Captain Marvel, right? They'll see it before everybody a month out, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is game changing. This is just I can't believe what I've seen. What an achievement!" And then you see the movie, and it's like, the hell was all that hype about? And they do this constantly. Thing with Joker though,
artsy independent,
but also you got Joaquin established act. Go see his work, man. This guy's a real deal. That's why you see the reports and the reactions, and you're like, makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense.
And he lost 30 pounds.
Transformed. Yeah. That Academy loves all that stuff.
Did you read about how he lost the weight and then it drew him crazy? He said it actually him going from skinny to fat.
I mean, we saw what he did with. Did you ever see that movie? The one where he went on full beard and he went crazy, or I'm not here, something like that. Did you ever watch that? That was something. I know it was all performance, but man, you believed it.
That's why
you could buy it. If he did that in today's social media world, he'd get away with it, and people would be like, "Wait, what's wrong with this guy?"
And I'm still mad that Jake Gyllenhaal didn't win for Nightcrawler. I don't even think he got nominated for Best Actor. That's going to
be one of those guys. I think he's going to win later on down the line when it's
when he's
for a movie that's not for a movie that's really this is what he wanted.
And he's a supporting actor.
Same thing with DiCaprio. He wanted for The Revenant, but you're like, what? Did you not see Blood Diamond? Did you not see? Departed. I don't know. Just all these other different movies you could have wanted.
Did you not
Aviator?
Did you not see Creed? Sylvester Stallone.
I
know what I want to get into. That.
Don't get into me. But
I told you that ripped my heart out too, man.
No, I'm still. I talked about it in my other podcast. I'm still trying to come to grips with it.
He deserved it that year.
That was the best performance. Everybody talked about it. I mean, sometimes just out of pity for myself and him. I'll go to YouTube and I'll put on the Golden Globes because he won it there. And I was he won for that role, and I'll make myself feel better because of that.
But last words on Joker, what are your expectations, or what do you do you think it's gonna is it gonna really be this like this thing.
It's not going to be
everybody's
this
blowing out of proportion. Like we've seen it on trailers and like the news and like we'll get into that in a minute.
Here's what I think.
Criticism and all that.
As far as like the movie in general, I think the movie's going to be all right.
Like mediocre or like
it's going to be one of those where like you remember the performance more than the movie.
Okay.
And there's certain movies like you're okay with that, like wow, like that actor was just so good and that performance
Like I
was
hate to
just so.
compare this, but kind of like Deadpool. Like Ryan Reynolds, you remember his performance
Right.
over the script of Deadpool.
There's a movie that I like, a little independent film that Christian Bale did. I think it was like a year or two before like Batman Begins.
The Machinist?
No, it was called Harsh Times.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
And that movie was okay, but
his
man,
performance.
he was just so
And weird.
electrifying.
He was a weird, like a spot on American. Like he
Yeah,
was weird.
like
yeah.
but that's what I remember about it, and I can put it as one of my favorite movies. But like the movie's fine, but the performance just elevates it to another level, and that's what I think is going to happen here with Joker. And also, I just think it's going to be a huge box office hit, like the way Venom was last year with Tom Hardy. Where like you don't need.
Well, that's what they're comparing it to right now. Like if you look on like the internet, if you Google search Joker like box office prediction, they're comparing it to Venom. And
well, the reason they're comparing it is because Venom is a property on its own. Like it's got the Marvel name, just like it's got DC.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with a universe or connected and all that. And that's what a lot of the fanboys are mad about.
And
like, does this connect to Justice League or does this connect to the
No,
next?
it's
No,
just
it's straight up
Joker.
an adaptation and an interpretation. And if I were a diehard comic book fan, I would be mad at this only if this was like the first iteration we were ever going to get of the Joker. But the fact that we've seen Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Jared Leto, Mark Hamill voicing the guy. Freaking Cesar Romero, we want to go all the way back to the 60s, the animated TV show. We've seen so many versions of the Joker.
The fact that they're going to compare it to box office prediction numbers of Venom
makes
me sick.
No, but that's kind of spot on, though.
But the only reason why it makes me sick is because, I know you absolutely hated Venom. Like, I hated Venom as a movie.
Venom as a movie's trash. I've said that.
So
it's trash.
god-awful. It's like a guilty pleasure of mine. I have to watch because of Tom Hardy's performance.
Yes, exactly.
And that's the only reason. But
it's fun.
I'll fucking hate. It has to be my number one worst movie of the decade. Like
of the decade? No,
it's that.
There's got to be. Did you not see The Hangover Part 3? Jesus,
that's better than that.
Oh, no, Jake.
Sorry.
No, Jake. No.
You know, if it wasn't for Tom Hardy, Venom was god awful.
No, Venom. No, generic bad guy, generic romantic lead. The story was trash.
I sat through 45 minutes and I said, "Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking like I can't." And then it got to Venom, and I was like,
"But I think there was a lot of
life is bringing back to me."
There was a lot of. Here's where I'm going to blame Sony.
Oh.
Here's where I'm going to blame Sony a
writing.
little bit. No. I think they messed with it. Like the studio
Like
came
it's a movie
in.
where if I saw with you and I was laughing about Tom Hardy, I'd probably enjoy the film. But I couldn't.
I trashed it when it came out. I was like, this is bad.
I saw
but
the trailer when it was in front of Fallout. It was in front of.
No. But like, yeah, the movie was bad, but I think the studio had a hand in on messing with it, and you know, I think for the next,
did you hear
I think
who
for
they
part
got
2,
Venom 2, they got Andy Serkis directing.
okay, that's a step up.
I didn't see
Woody
Mowgli.
Woody Harrelson's gonna be in it now.
Carnage.
We saw a clip of him,
And all the fanboys, Carnage.
which I think that was one of the worst credit stingers I've ever seen about. There's gonna be Carnage. Oh, cringe! I cringed so bad in that scene.
What did my last cringe? Man, I know it was not too long ago. I cringed and I was like, oh.
No, but I think it's gonna be fun. Tom Hardy's back. Woody Harrelson, Andy Serkis. It's gonna be a step up from this one. Will it be good enough? Who knows?
Yeah, it'll be better than part 1 because that was trash.
But now that it made money, maybe they'll hey, Serkis, go do your thing, whatever.
What's going into your number 2? What did you say your number 2 was?
My number 2 is The Irishman, another Netflix movie. Well, again, we'll see if it gets theater release.
That was going to be in my top 5, but I left it out. Not only because we're doing this together, but because I'm just not convinced yet. Like
Scorsese, Pacino, De Niro, Pesci.
Stars.
It's enough.
It's enough.
Mob movie. This is.
What is it about though? Like they're usually tied to Italian. So
Have you not? Did you not see
Irishman.
the new trailer that came out this week?
I'm holding back from watching it.
No, watch it. I'm telling you, the first trailer underwhelmed, and I can be the first one to tell you.
But this new one,
This new one's like boom, more upbeat.
explains a little bit.
You're seeing Pacino being more Pacino-esque. The graphics look better, like the de-aging.
Yeah.
Like in the first trailer, you're like, whoa, like this is a little too much, or it looks bad. But obviously not a finished product. But here, it kind of looks fleshed out. finished. Look again, upbeat. It premiered yesterday for critics. Everyone's already calling it epic, masterpiece, best picture. Again, don't want to put all my eggs in one basket and be like, yeah, I believe this, so it's going to be good. But it's rare when Scorsese puts out. I know
there's criticism too, because Robert De Niro, he was mad about it just being a Netflix only movie. He wanted it to be in theaters, and I was watching him on CNN when he came out one time. So,
well, who knows what happens though? Because if it's as good as people are saying it is, and
Netflix
then,
will be like, "Hey, we want it everywhere."
But then if the Academy's like, "Hey, best picture, best director," they're gonna have to give it some type of like really major release.
And did you see? I don't want to get too much into it. But you see, like Steven Spielberg talking about how he doesn't like Netflix original films and stuff like that because Spielberg's like, it's not like a studio movie and stuff.
But from the way this looks, I'm telling you, when you get home or whenever,
films.
watch that second trailer, The Irishman. It's going to sell it on you. That's my number 2. We can't talk too much about it because it's not out yet. It'll be out in a few weeks, I think. I think this is also a November movie or late October, whatever,
something like that. No, it's November.
And do you want me to go first for my number 1, and then we go to yours? Because I think your number 1's kind of bigger than my number 1. Even though I think my number 1's going to be the better movie, but we'll get into it. All right, here's my number 1, ladies and gentlemen. From director James Mangold, Mr. Matt Damon, Mr. Christian Bale.
Logan.
Ford v. Ferrari, coming out Thanksgiving weekend. Again, this is going to be a good double feature with Knives Out. Racing,
cars.
Classic American story. 2 of the best actors in the world.
Matt Damon.
Christian Bale. Earlier we saw DiCaprio and Pitt. Now we see another major superstar team up. I don't want to say Bale's a little bit more of a
established.
Not established, but he can be more of a comedian and get into all these. We saw him.
Roles.
We see him in Vice last year.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He
should have won Best Actor, not Rami Malek. Whatever.
I'm sorry. Bohemian Rhapsody was really good.
He lip synced.
Freddie Mercury fans and for Queen fans like me, he deserved it. I know Palace wanted.
He lip synced through that
Christian
movie,
Bale
Jake.
For playing.
Oh my god!
For playing who? Who do you play?
Dick Cheney. He was Dick Cheney. You saw that movie? If you watch it, that's Dick Cheney.
No, that's a over the top great performance, like for sure. And I still need to see Vice. Like I haven't seen.
No, watch it
because I love Sam Rockwell, and that guy is underrated too.
For sure. But no, yeah, Ford v Ferrari. It's in the title itself. This just.
If you're a lover of cars, I have my Ford Mustang 2016 out there in the back. Blue, nice car.
But it's got this like underdog story to it. Can Ford develop a car that's as fast as Ferrari? Just like in the scene, like Christian Bale's like telling Matt Damon, you wanna build a Ford to take on Ferrari. And you told him you're gonna do it in like 300 million years. He's like, no, I got 90 days. Like, what? He's like laughing. And then his son later is like in the trailers, like telling him like, can you beat Ferrari? And he's like, I could try. And it's like, oh man, classic Christian Bale. Like this is gonna be again. This is gonna have Oscars all over it. And people are talking about Christian Bale for best supporting actor. That's another name on that list. It's just gonna be just so many supporting. Because I think best actor is gonna be Matt Damon. I don't know if he'll get best actor, but I think
Christian will get best
maybe
actor.
We'll see how that plays out. But again, that movie will be out in a few weeks. This one screened already at Telluride. I think it was the film festival. They're saying awesome movie. And let me just talk about this a little bit more, and we'll take another quick break before we get to your number 1. They're saying that this is a movie that you got to see on the big screen. That it's loud. It's like total full-on movie. It's like so. I think it's gonna be an IMAX. I'm gonna want to see this baby in IMAX. If it's that loud,
is it IMAX?
Yeah, it's gonna be IMAX. Loud speakers, all that jazz. Ford v Ferrari. And are you going to see it?
I'm definitely going to see it.
Opening weekend, opening day?
Opening weekend,
okay,
yes.
For sure. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's my number 1. We're going to take one last break here, and then we'll get into Jake's number 1 in the top 5 of his fall movies. And this is Palace Off the Top Rope. We'll be right back.
I do stand-up comedy. You should come see a show sometime.
I could do that.
People think you're weird. They don't feel comfortable around you.
I don't want you worrying about money, Mom. Or me.
All that sacrifice, she must love you very much.
She always tells me to smile and put on a happy face.
You're so funny, Arthur.
All right, welcome back. So, when we left you guys, we left off with my number 1, which was Ford v Ferrari, and now Jake, if you want to get into your number 1, I guess. Go ahead and tell us what
Oh,
it
I
is.
can't wait to get into my number one. My number one on Jake's top 5 movies of 2019, at least going into holiday season. Of course, it has to be Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. And I know Palace hates Star Wars and fanboys and hates Star Wars for the most part, but I love Star Wars.
Let me clear the air. I don't hate Star Wars, the films itself. I hate the fandom. And I'll tell you why, Jake. Because, and I'm not saying you, because obviously you love all this different shit.
I'm not one of your
right,
yeah.
but you like different
like
stuff.
sci-fi.
You know, what is this show even about? You know, we've been talking about all these different things, but a lot of these super diehard Star Wars fans, they make it seem like these movies are the only movies that matter in Hollywood, in pop culture. When there's
I'm not one of those.
There's so much out there, and
I'm not one of those.
Is it me? Or does it feel like The Rise of Skywalker just feels like another movie this year when it should be like a kind of a bigger deal?
You know what's crazy is that I was discussing that with like me and my other Star Wars big fan of Star Wars as well, and I was saying, where's the talk been the last like 2 months?
Right?
Did it disappear? Do we not understand that the ending saga of the Skywalkers is ending in December, which is 2 months away?
Is it fatigue? Is it all the bad juju from The Last Jedi?
It's that, dude. It's that much of bad juju from the Force, or not the Force Away, of Last Jedi. It's that people are so those super fanboys that just hated The Last Jedi are so turned off that they when they saw the premiere like at Star Wars May Hope or whatever that thing is, that that celebration, Star Wars celebration.
Yeah.
They got back into it, but it was like too late. Like you're into it, but then like. But it's dying down, and then like there hasn't been a trailer, like a really good trailer lately.
Well, here's the thing,
kind of trash, the trailers.
So they had the teaser, right, which came out earlier.
Which was okay,
right?
And then
but there's another one. There's another one that's been playing in theaters, and I saw
it shows up the old movies.
Right,
I didn't.
It's supposed to wrap it up, right? That's like the whole thing,
cool
right?
It's showing that, but can we show like a little bit of the new one? Like
no, but that's not the thing, Jake. The thing is like, I'm looking for audience reactions, and everyone's kind of like just like. Okay, like
I was like tearing up when I saw it. Like I'm
right, but there's always going to be those fans like yourself, that are going to be like, you're going to mark out for it. But I'm just looking for overall general reactions.
I mean, well, we got let's get into actors real quick. I mean, you got Daisy Ridley, I love her, and you got Oscar Isaac, you got John Boyega. I mean, underrated. I don't
Carrie Russell's going to be in it.
Carrie Russell,
obviously the final Carrie Fisher's
daughter's in it as one of the captains or whatever. I mean. And then, of course, Adam Driver, and then Mark Hamill might be coming back.
But it kind of what they've shown of the new footage, it just looks like the same thing.
Well, it's not enough. And I hate to say that because I hate seeing more than I want when I see the final.
But they need to really sell this if it's...
And they haven't done that yet. Like, there's one more trailer.
There's going to be one whenever they launch the ticket sales, whatever. It's going to come in, mid-October, late October, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been so...
It's been quiet. Like, it's been really quiet.
And how much of that also is because...
It's not fatigue.
Endgame was also such a huge... It's the highest grossing movie ever.
It's not fatigue. Like, as much as you might think it might be Star Wars fatigue, I don't think
You don't think so?
Nah, because we have the Mandalorian coming out.
Yeah, but that's more for the hardcore fans. Like, I think...
Well, it's TV and Jon Favreau,
it's gonna have its fans, but like
Obi-Wan, I'm so interested in Obi-Wan.
But again, are you opening your eyes to how are you trying to get the younger generation involved in Star Wars? Because the MCU, that's this generation's Star Wars, right? Can we agree on that for the younger generation? Star Wars is kind of the past. What are they doing to try to open it up? That's why I love The Last Jedi so much, because it opened up possibilities for all these new things, and yet the first teaser for Rise of Skywalker, we're going back to the Emperor, we're going back another Death Star?
Well, we're going back to what original fans like me want a conclusion for. You know what I mean?
But it wrapped up in Return of the Jedi.
Not really.
That's why I hate it when people
brought it back.
But I hate when people say trilogy. Star Wars isn't a trilogy anymore because that story continued. Han Solo died. He didn't have. You could have had the happily ever after.
Then we found out Ben Solo is.
But that's just you can do that with anybody. You can be Rocky dies, but look, there's his son. He's got.
But because of the new trilogy, why I'm excited and why it's number one is because not only is just Star Wars, but I love Star Wars to death since I was a kid. It's this is the end of the
right.
Skywalker
But does it have
saga.
you as hyped as like, God, how's Avengers?
It
gonna
does,
end?
but it doesn't have anybody else.
No, nobody cares. That's what I'm saying. Like, is it going to underwhelm at the box office? Like,
No.
if you had to make an early projection,
it's not going to underwhelm. But I'm like you said, where is everybody else? Like, where are the Facebook posts?
Or is it just going to be like it comes out and people just go and that's it?
Well, I think it's going to be like.
Is that going to be the new thing now, or they don't really need to market it and they release it?
Watch till that third trailer comes out.
And people are going to mark out.
Everybody will start to go crazy.
They're really going to have to sell me on that trailer. I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it, Jake. Like, I'm going opening weekend. I can tell the audience that.
I love R2. I love C-3PO. I love, I'm
But
fucking a
also
nerdy
it's
fanboy for those characters,
but, like,
man.
it's
Like,
like-
R2's my favorite.
And it's if it's the same thing, like, what are we doing? Like,
But I think, like, there's talks of Daisy Ridley character of Rey being a Palpatine, being a granddaughter of Palpatine, and she's going to choose
if they do something like that,
dark
cool.
side. Yeah.
Would they risk it? Would they do it?
That's
are they
what
gonna?
the talks
Are they
are.
gonna be cookie cutter and be like, oh, like
No,
this is-
because supposedly, like, she's going to end up going to the dark side, like they're teasing in that last trailer when she had that dual-bladed dumb lightsaber. Like, she's going to, because she's doing that, these are just rumors that she's
right.
a Palpatine.
It could all just be
granddaughter.
that footage cannot even be in the movie for all we know.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Might not be. But that's the talks, and then Ben Solo, Adam Driver, because he killed Han Solo, he's gonna finally redeem himself and stop Rey from becoming like the ultimate bad guy.
We'll see.
There's all this talk,
because all this should be a bigger deal. It's the end.
and it's not though, and that's what has me like. it doesn't have me box office worried. It has me like, not like.
And the consciousness is it just gonna be a movie, or is
Not-
it gonna be like the way like?
Not are we Star Wars fatigued, but are we like? They don't care about the films anymore, like, or about
are they
this trilogy.
events anymore? Like, are these going to be events like big deals anymore? Like, or is it just going to slowly fade away? Like, I don't know. I said this once Avengers came out. I think we just reached the pinnacle of how high a blockbuster can go. I don't know. It's just this one has me concerned on like the consciousness of like how it's going to do like with like legs. Like, how long is it going to last in the theaters? Because The Last Jedi really was super quiet at the theaters, at least from my perspective when I was working. Like, it didn't feel big. And obviously that was like bad backlash of people not liking it, the fans. And I think that's really going to affect the numbers for this one. I mean, it's still going to open huge, don't get me wrong. But I don't know.
Let me say this real quick in our closing. Do you think that that and I hate for you to admit this, and I know you don't want to admit it, do you think it's actually going to be the biggest box office opener of 2019?
No way.
It's not topping Endgame.
Nothing's topping Endgame.
I forgot that movie came out this year.
300,
Like how you said-
300 million. That
Like
is,
when I saw earlier when you were like, did sequel to Split come out this year? And I was like,
it was, right?
well,
Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man Far From Home was like, that was this year? Oh, yeah.
that's how I feel. Like,
this movie has overshadowed,
Endgame, yeah.
Endgame has overshadowed so much.
and it's a shame I only saw it once in theaters.
I thought,
That's crazy.
I even thought The Lion King was going to be like,
I didn't
I mean,
see
it's
that.
made a shit ton of money, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of like, I don't know. And I feel like Star Wars,
Okay, so do you have Star Wars topping Terminator Dark Fate, or do you have like?
oh, yeah, no, for sure. No,
Okay.
Star Wars is going to make a
So do you have
crap
Star
ton
Wars
of...
like number 2?
No, it's going to be probably like, it'll beat
what's-
The Lion King. It'll be number 2.
Okay.
Well, I'm not factoring in Frozen 2.
Ah.
That might be
That's a whole.
That's
nother
something
discussion.
else. A whole
If
nother
you know me
discussion.
personally, guys, listeners, I absolutely hate cartoon films and cartoon Disney movies.
Even my
especially.
daughters, like, they're growing up now. They're kind of like whatever about it. I was like, yes, okay, cool. I don't have to take them to see this.
Nightmare Before Christmas was like my last. I'm sorry, guys.
No, Toy Story 4 was good.
I do want to see that.
Toy Story
there's
4 was
there's
fantastic.
Ones that I end up seeing, but
yeah,
like
yeah. That
Frozen.
was
No, I didn't see Frozen. I don't care.
no Frozen. That's gonna make like $1 gajillion. Like,
I don't know what the fucking ice guy's name is. The snowman.
no, gosh, it's really weird because in any other year, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker is number 1 at the box office. Here, it could end up number 2 or 3, depending on Frozen 2 does.
2, you think?
That's the biggest factor. We got to see
respect that.
how well that movie does, and then
It's my number 2, and it's my number 1 on my list of most anticipated.
yeah, anticipate that's
films of the
fine.
year.
But gosh, as far as like
it just cannot, it better not disappoint. J.J. Abrams, do not disappoint, because The Force Awakens, it was a rehash of Star Wars: A New Hope. So I'll just leave it.
That's
at that.
why I love The Last Jedi so much, is because
And I
it
love
took
it
it.
too.
It took it in such a new
But
direction.
so many fanboys hated it, and I loved it myself. I loved it personally. People are crazy. They had Yoda in there for 10 minutes. Give me a break.
Great. All right, well, that's gonna wrap up this episode. I want to thank Jake for coming on and getting to shoot the shit, bounce off each other, talk movies. It's what I love to do. I'm sure we can go into so many different other things. Football. I know you wanted to talk horror movies.
We have a lot coming. We have a lot.
I'll have you back on later in the month. It's October. It's that time of year. We got a lot to discuss as far as Joker is concerned. There's a lot of topics, all this
Security.
stuff. It's coming up in a few days in theaters. Get your tickets now. It's going to be a big box office hit. I'm going to definitely try to check it out opening day. I got to see what the Thursday game is, and then that'll decide when I go. But it'll definitely be soon. And then I'll have you back on, Jake. And This has been fun. And I welcome anybody to come onto this show and discuss movies, whatever you want, as long as it's in the pop culture bubble. And thanks a lot, buddy. And that's going to do it. And we'll talk to you next time.